Hello, it's your boy Davidoff. I am a huge Batman fan, and I did a marathon, 3-episode marathon on my main channel of Batman movies. Only live action, but Batman movies from 1966 up until Batman v Superman. So I'm going to put all 3 episodes into one big video now. You don't have to watch it, but if you want to, you can watch along. And yeah, enjoy the video. Hello, it's your boy Davidoff. Welcome back to Movie Monday. So the first episode will be a couple TV serials and an actual movie. Basically, I searched like every Batman movie and it gave me the results in Wikipedia. Batman in film, and it included 2 TV serials. If you don't know what that is, basically like an extended movie made for TV. So it's like multiple episodes, but like no series, no like season 2 or anything. Just like one series with episodes. That's basically just one long movie, basically. So, yeah, the first one, Batman 1943, it is 3.5 hours long. So, like, it's episodic. It's like, I don't know, like, it's in a chain of videos. So that chapter 1 works. Hopefully the rest works. There's 15 chapters in total. Most of them around 20 minutes, 15 minutes, etc., 17 minutes. So, gonna watch through that, and that'll be the first sort of, like, extended movie. And then it's Batman and Robin in 1949. Hopefully that's available as well somewhere. I hope so anyway, otherwise it'd be a bit awkward. And we're going to end the episode with Batman 1966, which is, I'm pretty sure, the first proper like movie for Batman. So that should be fun. So that's this episode. Next episode will be like, well, we'll get to that when we get to it. So yeah, I'm just gonna watch this now and tell you what I think at the end. Let's do this. Yeah, so that was very long, very long. It was alright though. It was quite good. It was alright. It wasn't like amazing, but that's partly because it's like it's so old. It's black and white. It's not that well choreographed. The special effects are not that great. Having said that, it is Batman. He doesn't need good special effects really. He's just a man, so you don't have to like. He doesn't have powers, so he doesn't need like expensive effects. But still, like for what it was, for the time it came out, it was alright. It was alright. It was interesting. The main bad guy, which is it's just one villain really. There's not like different villains. There's like one main villain and that's it. He's a bit like a mafia boss in a way. Like they're like aspiring, I think. Can't remember the guy's name now, but anyway, he looked a bit like a Bond villain. I used to watch, like, I did a marathon a while ago, not on the channel, but like in my own time, I did a marathon of 007 movies. Like, I watched all of them in a row. It took like a month or so or something, but I remember like some of the old villains, and I was like, the villain in this one, he seems like a Bond villain in some ways. He even has a pit with a crocodile in it. Like in one of the villains, I can't remember. There was a Bond villain. I swear he had. I should remember the name, but I feel like he has a popular name, and I don't remember. There is a Bond villain who has a shark in a tank, and he drops people in there to feed the shark. In the same way, in this show, he has a crocodile pit. There's a villain's crocodile pit that he throws people in. Defeats the crocodile. It might be an alligator actually. Alligator or crocodile, one of the two. Either way, I thought, wow, that's quite a big similarity there. It's not just because of that, but like he looked like a Bond villain in a way. Robin was here like a lot. Robin was here quite a lot. They could have called this Batman Robin actually. They could have just called this Batman and Robin, but they called it just Batman. I think the next one might be a sequel. I have no idea. It might be, possibly, might be connected. And that one's actually called Batman and Robin, so that'll be up next. But yeah, also like I was watching episode by episode. Every chapter ends with someone in trouble. Like every single one is a cliffhanger, which makes sense to be fair, but still, like literally every single episode it was like either Batman's in trouble, he could die, or someone else is in trouble who could die. And the next episode at the start they're saved. So you know it's some funny like random cliffhangers. And it says like see it in theatres as well, so I think this went in theatres like weekly for some reason. But still, it was for what it was alright. But yeah, it does drag though, and it is really long when you watch it all in one go. That's what I did, and it was a lot. It was a lot, and the next one's even longer. It's 4 hours long. It was on YouTube actually. It was on YouTube. Batman and Robin, 1949. So yeah, I can just watch the whole thing. Yeah, so after I watched that one, I'll tell you my thoughts. Alright, so I watched it, and yeah, it's very long, it dragged. Obviously it's meant to be like an episode thing, and like watching the whole thing in one go is just like, it's so long. It's so long. I should have just spaced this out, watched it like in parts. I just watched the whole thing in one go, just like whizzed through all of it. And yeah, it was good. It was an interesting 4 hours. I don't think it was a sequel. It's different actors anyway. I don't think it was a sequel, but it's basically like, in a way, the first one, except like with a better villain, I guess, and more. I mean, Robin was in it a lot in the first one anyway, so to be fair, both of them could have been called the same thing. But this one had more like known characters. It had Vicky Vale, who's basically like Lois Lane if she was in Gotham. Basically, she's a journalist who takes photos, likes to go into danger to like find the right photos and stories to tell. She's like Lois Lane. She's brave reporter. Basically Lois Lane if she was in Gotham, pretty much. And I know her from like the game, the Telltale game, because she's in the game, so I know her from there. And I know she's a character from the comics as well. And Jim Gordon's in it as well. And the villain is the Wizard, or the Invisible Man. He has two names. I'm pretty sure the Invisible Man is a DC comic character as well. So yeah, he looks a bit different when you Google him. But in the show he looked, I mean, he has a mask as well. He's a full covered mask. So he has some similarities there for sure. But yeah, it was interesting. It was interesting. It was at least worth checking out. For its time, it was good. It's just that like when I watch stuff like that's really old, like in black and white, it's really hard to get into it. Like aside from Godzilla I got into it when it was black and white. I was fine with it. I was completely fine. That was like really good. But like apart from that, and James Bond as well. Did that come out in black and white? Or was it remastered? I have no idea, but like if it's like James Bond or Godzilla or even Batman, I can watch black and white. But most things in film, in movies, black and white just gets boring a little quick for me. It's a bit outdated, I feel. But for Batman, it was alright. This was like a crime show. Like it didn't really need Batman, to be fair. It's like a crime show, except it has vigilantes in it, and they work with the police to find the culprit, basically. So it's like a crime show where the police are finding the culprits, except they got Batman on their side and Robin as well, working together. So that's pretty much what it is. And yeah, it's pretty interesting. It's pretty interesting, that's for sure. So we got one more left. Batman 1966, the first actual movie. It's like 2 hours long, I think, for Batman. So Adam West as well, rest in peace. So I expect it to be cheesy and fun as well. So let's see how that one goes. So I had a lot, and I mean a lot of fun with that movie. It was hilarious, it was cheesy, and it was silly, but it was a good silly. It was really silly at times, like really silly, but it was really fun, and it was funny as well, just hilarious. A lot of the things in there were just hilarious. First of all, like, it has like the theme song, Batman. Yeah, that is just iconic to me. I remember watching like an animated show, I think, that had the intro. I'm aware, by the way, this is connected to a TV show. This takes place after season 1, and there's 3 seasons. I am not watching those seasons. I would have had the time, but I don't have the time. I have to watch, like, I watched so many shows already, and I watch quite a few movies now, especially from Movie Monday as well. So I wouldn't have the time, really. I just wouldn't have the time. If I had time, I would. So maybe in about 10 years, when I get more time, when I finish all the shows I want to watch, then I might get onto it. But I don't know if the story continues in season 2, because there's a bit of a cliffhanger at the end. It's not a cliffhanger, but it's like a bit of a confusing ending. But still, like, this movie was fun. Batman the movie 1966. If you've never seen it, then just check it out. Just check it out and see what you think. It's not like a great movie. It's very silly, but it's funny silly. It is funny silly. The fight scenes are hilarious. Like, watching the fight scenes is like watching WWE. Because when you watch WWE, like, you know they're hitting each other, but not like in like, not an actual proper way. They're just, you know. And this was like wrestling hits. Like, some weren't even hitting them. Some were just like hitting the air, and the guy falls over, a guy falling off into the water. It was just hilarious. And there's a scene where Batman holds a bomb, and he's got to get it out of the building. But wherever he goes, there's people. There's people outside the balcony, so he goes downstairs, there's people drinking. He goes outside, he goes to the right, there's a guy coming up the ladder up to the pier. They're next to water, by the way. Then he goes to the other side of the pier and there's dock stairs, so they can't throw it there. And it's the funniest, it's so funny, that scene, because he's just holding a bomb. He's just running around trying to see where he would like let it go, because he's got to like get rid of it somehow before it explodes. It's just the way that scene is filmed is hilarious. He's just looking for like a way to like remove the bomb, and it's just so funny. But Batman always finds a way, and it's kind of funny, like there's always a way, even when it seems impossible in this movie. And I know in movies generally, like Batman, he is a guy who always finds a way, and they portray that really well in this movie as well. Like in this movie, even though it's silly and not that serious, like the other ones like that came after, still like they kept the same thing where Batman he always finds a way to not fail despite the odds. But yeah, there's some silly dialogue. They find out at the beginning there's like 4 villains: Catwoman, Penguin, the Riddler, and the Joker. The Joker's laugh is good. The Joker's laugh in this movie is good. I quite liked it. I was like, okay, that is a good Joker laugh. The Penguin was a bit weird, but I quite liked him. Riddler looked a bit just a bit ridiculous, to be honest. Catwoman was decent as well. So yeah, but yeah, some of the silly dialogue though. Like I'll give you one example. Like they're trying to work out who's the villain here. If it's one villain or if it's multiple villains. And Batman was like, if there was 3 of them, then they could take over the city. But 4 of them, they're planning world domination. That wasn't the exact quotes, but that was just the funniest thing I've heard. I'm just like, wait, what? 4 people means they're taking over the world, and 3 means they take over a city. Like, how do you differentiate? Where does that come from? And there's a lot of like silly dialogue in it, but it just makes it funnier. It just makes it funnier. Like if you look at it for what it is, it's just really easy to appreciate it, because it was just like it was hilarious. You know, it was stupid, and that's why it was funny. It was funny because it was stupid, and it was funny because of other things as well. Like the fight scenes were just so badly choreographed, and it still worked. It just works. This movie just somehow it just delivers. And also like the Batcave, right? The Batcave is cool. So it's like a fireman's pole where they slide down. So from the manor, they slide down, and there's a switch midway through where you auto change into your costume. So from your normal clothes to your costume. So how does that work then? Like they're sliding down a pole. So by the flip of a switch, by the time they land, they're completely changed. Like how does that work on a pole without falling off? Like is there logic in this movie? But yeah, it is silly, and there's a part of a shark as well trying to eat Batman, which is quite funny. But yeah, it's like you can tell it's all like badly choreographed and so silly and fake, but it just works. It somehow, for what it is, it works as a fun, hilarious movie. I've never known Batman to be so silly, you know. They tried to do comedic in Justice League actually 2 years ago. That movie was terrible. But I've always known Batman to be more serious. So like I wouldn't think that a fun Batman would make a good Batman. But this one somehow pulls it off, and that's pretty cool. But I hope he stays dark in these times though. The next one's coming in I think 2021. Matt Reeves directing, Robert Pattinson is the Batman. Hopefully that one's dark and gritty, and hopefully it's great as well. I'm anticipating that the most now out of anything really in the coming years. Like genuinely, apart from actually yeah, Batman at the top, then Godzilla vs Kong. That'll be the top 2. But yeah, I'm really anticipating that next movie, but that'll be a while away. So the next episode will be a few movies. I'm planning to do all 4 of the next 4 before the Dark Knight trilogy, which will be in 2 episodes time. Episode 2 should be, I'm pretty sure there were 4 Batman movies between 89 and 97. So that should be the next episode. If for some reason I can't do that, I'll at least do 2 of them, because I'm pretty sure there's 2 Keaton ones and 2 non-Keaton ones. But that's what I plan to be the next episode. Then we'll move on to Dark Knight trilogy, and then we'll move on to the final episode, which will be Batman v Superman. The Ultimate Edition, the 3-hour version. Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot to mention, Robin's in this like the whole time. Robin is a key role, plays a key role in this movie. Same with the TV series actually, and what I noticed also is that, just like in the TV serials, they have no trouble with police, which is fine, which makes sense, but they always operate at daytime. And I don't know if that means I don't know if it was just easier to film at that time or whatever, but you don't usually see like a modern Batman fighting at daytime. Usually he's Bruce Wayne at day and Batman at night. I don't know when he sleeps, but that's usually how it works, right? And this one, he always operates at daytime, which I felt was a nice switch up. It was a nice change. That was quite interesting. How it was always like in the daylights, which is not what you know Batman to operate in, but he does that. And also this movie was about saving the world as well. It's not just Gotham like it usually is. It was the entire world. Like he usually doesn't do that unless it's like Justice League. But like if it's him on his own, he's usually just saving Gotham. So yeah, it was just saving the world from 4 iconic villains, and I think it just really worked. Apparently, according to IMDb, Batgirl was in it. I don't know if I wasn't paying attention, but she never suited up, did she? I'm pretty sure I saw the girl, because I saw the picture on IMDb, and I'm pretty sure I saw her at Jim Gordon's desk, but she didn't put a suit on, did she? So why was she credited as Batgirl? I don't know, maybe she's Batgirl in a TV show. Jim Gordon's in it as well, and there's other stuff, there's other funny stuff. I think that's all the iconic characters actually, the 4 villains, Batman, Robin, Batgirl, apparently, Jim Gordon. I think there's like 1 or 2 others probably. But either way, like I had some fun with this. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the next one I do, because the next movie is 1989. And there's a lot of people who say it's really good. So I'm looking forward to it. I just got back from watching Spider-Man Far From Home, which is kind of fitting because these are the 2 most popular superheroes, Batman and Spider-Man, right now in terms of fan base, merchandise sales, etc. These are the 2 popular ones, Spider-Man and Batman, so that's kind of fitting. Most well known is probably Superman, which obviously, because he's Superman, everyone knows him. But still, like in terms of popularity, Batman and Spider-Man are up there. So it's kind of fitting that I just watched a Spider-Man movie, came home to watch a Batman movie as well. So it's kind of fitting in a way, if that even makes sense. So we're starting with 1989, Michael Keaton obviously, and then I think I got 1 sequel. Then they did a 3rd one with like a different actor. Then they did another one as well. So there's 4 movies to watch, live action, from 1989 to 1990 something, can't remember. But yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about this movie, 1989. I've heard a lot of good things about this one specifically. A lot of older Batman fans say it's great. Some say it's the best Batman movie. Some say it's just really, really good. And some just love it so much. So I'm just like, I can't wait to see this. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing this first one the most, for sure. So let's do this. That was good. That was pretty good. The effects were not that great for some parts. It looked a little bit strange at times, but it looked pretty cool for its time. It was pretty cool. But yeah, 89, I finally watched it. There's like a classic Batman movie, and I've never seen it for some reason. Someone also requested The Mask of the Phantasm. I've actually seen that movie, but it was like years ago, and I saw it just once. But I remember it being great, so I'm definitely gonna see that again. But it won't be part of this marathon. It will be. I might put it on a movie list actually. Might add onto that list of movies to watch. But yeah, I think it's already on there anyway, to be fair. But anyway, yeah, as for this movie, 1989, Keaton is a good Batman. I like him. He was pretty cool. Pretty funny as well, the way he just stands there sometimes. In a good way though. Just his facial expressions, how he's so serious. Sometimes it's just really funny to look at, which is in a good way though, in a good way. But I like that the fight scenes are cool. And Nicholson's Joker is really good. Nicholson's Joker is creepy, scary, edgy, and he nails the Joker. I love how there's so many different versions now. There's a lot of Jokers nowadays, from movies, TV shows, animations, and each one seems different, and it's cool because the actors can put their own twist on it, make it their own version of it. And I think it's awesome to see like so much range for this character. You have Nicholson, Ledger, Mark Hamill, etc. There's so many good Jokers, and they're also different. They're also unique in their own ways. And this Joker is crazy. This Joker's crazy. I think some people say he's the best one. And yeah, I can see why they say that. For me, it's still Ledger. Maybe because I'm biased towards the Dark Knight trilogy. But still, you know, great Joker, Nicholson, great Joker. Keaton's a good Batman. I like the characters. I like the movie. It was a good movie. It was a good 2 hours of 2 hours of enjoyment. A very serious Batman movie that's also quite fun as well in some ways. So some parts were a bit comedic, and yeah, it worked. It worked for me, that's for sure. So yeah, I really enjoyed watching that. Next up is Batman Returns, also featuring Keaton. And oh yeah, by the way, 1989. I forgot to mention. I like how it's more personal as well. Like, it's personal anyway between those two, Batman and the Joker, but it was more personal in this one because of what the Joker did when he was younger. And he basically created Batman, and in turn, Batman created the Joker by doing what he did in the movie. So that's kind of poetic in a way, because they created each other. They created each other's aliases, which is kind of cool. But anyway, Batman Returns 1992, I think it features Penguin as the main villain, I think. He's in it anyway, that's what I know for sure, but it should be interesting, so let's get into it. That was alright, This isn't really as well highly spoken of, but I quite enjoyed it. I like the storyline of it, love the characters. I liked Michael Keaton again as Batman. I liked Penguin, like Catwoman. So yeah, it was alright. It wasn't as good as the first one in '89, but still, Batman Returns it's an alright movie. I think it's rewatchable as well. I think it's pretty fun at times. And it has a good climax as well, and it's pretty interesting on top of that. So yeah, I quite liked it. Didn't love it, but I quite liked it. It was decent. So next up is Batman Forever, featuring Val Kilmer as Batman. So Keaton's done here. Came out in 1995, the same year I was born. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that movie. See if it's connected to the previous ones. I'm not sure, it might be, I'm not sure it is. But yeah, I've not heard good things about this one. Or the next one either, Batman and Robin. Apparently that's terrible. But I'm still gonna see them. I'm still gonna see what they're like. But I'm not too optimistic. But I'm always open-minded when I go into movies. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they're about and what happens in there, obviously. I'm curious to see Clooney as Batman as well in Batman and Robin. I'm curious because, I wonder, how does that work? But anyway, we'll get there when we get there. But next up is Batman Forever, and yeah, let's do this. Yeah, so that was interesting. It was alright. It was okay. It wasn't great. It wasn't anything special, but I did enjoy it. I had a fun time. I was never bored, and it was quite fun. It was quite fun at times. It wasn't meant to be funny, but at times it was quite funny. But yeah, the villains, they don't really work for me in different ways. So there's Two-Face, who, it's just the makeup. It just doesn't look, I want to say it doesn't look realistic, but I'm aware that it's the 90s that it came out, and the effects are not, you don't have the same technology you do in 2019 with all the big CGI nowadays, but still, it just looked really off and just really weird to me, that version of Two-Face. It wasn't terrible, but it was just it's a bit weird. It just looks like purple paint on his face more than anything. And Riddler as well. Riddler, I liked a little bit more. Jim Carrey, at the start, before he became actual Riddler, when he was just Edward, I really liked him at that point because he pulled off crazy really well, and I think he did a good job. But when he had his final look, it just looked so strange and weird. It just looked very weird. It was I guess it was close to accurate in some ways because of all the green and the question marks. I do like that. It reminds me of the Arkham games. I do like the question mark stuff. I didn't like it in the games, obviously, because it's very stressful finding all of them. But still, I did like that. It reminded me of the Arkham games. Some good memories there. I do like that green stuff. And yeah, but they still don't work for me. They just... Riddler was good at first, and then, it just got weird, and Two-Face was just very off the whole time to me. But they weren't terrible. I do like the actors, at least. And they were at least funny and enjoyable. But still, it was a little strange. But yeah, apparently Jon Favreau was in this. I think I did see him, I'm pretty sure. So that's pretty cool. I never knew he was in a DC movie in previously. But I know he's been involved in superhero movies before the MCU as well. So I knew that. I just didn't know he was in Batman Forever. Also, Robin was in this. Dick Grayson, the first Robin, he was in this. They did his origin in this movie, like with his family and stuff, and how he wants revenge on the person who did it, and they went into all of that, and that was pretty cool. I quite like Robin in this, I really do. His final suit in the movie was cool. His final suit, it looks pretty cool. It's kind of hard to pull off Robin's suit to make it look cool because of the colors. It's quite goofy at times, but you can pull it off. Like, for sure, you can pull a Robin suit off, and I think he pulled it off at the end of this movie. And also, like, in, like, the new TV show that's came out recently, Titans, Robin's got a suit in that, and it looks really cool as well. So you can make a Robin suit look cool. So I would love to see a live-action Robin in the movie coming up, in the Batman coming up in 2021. But yeah, speaking of suits, by the way, I liked Batman suits in this, just in general. I think they improved on the previous two movies. I think the first one was quite similar, to be fair. And the nipples were a bit weird, but, you know, and his final suit in that movie was really cool looking as well. And there's a scene where he's in the Batwing and he just flies by with his thumb up, and that's from a GIF on Twitter, and I was like, oh, so that's where the GIF is from. It was quite cool looking at that. So yeah, I mean, I didn't think it was a great movie. I just had fun with it. It was a fun movie to watch. And also there was a reference to Superman. He didn't reference Superman personally, but he referenced Metropolis when he was talking to Robin. So that was pretty cool. That was a slight reference there, which was pretty cool. I think there were rumors about like a Batman Superman movie around that time anyway. There were a lot of rumors about a Batman movie at the time, to be fair. Like, I'm pretty sure there's videos on it. Like, there were a lot of like plans to do Batman movies with Keaton, and they just never happened. I think possibly Batman Superman was a consideration at some point, but still, that was a nice little reference there. So that's all I got to say about the movie, really. But yeah, look, I had fun with it. Like, I didn't think it was terrible at all. I enjoyed myself. But yeah, the villains just didn't work. I just feel like they could have done Two-Face better. I mean, they made the Joker look good in the 60s, so they can make two. I mean, to be fair, it's probably harder with Two-Face because it's half a face. But still, it just didn't quite work. It didn't quite work. But yeah, you know, I can forgive that. It's from the 90s. It's not from like right now. You can't expect like heavy effects like on The Dark Knight, that version of Two-Face. But still, you know, quite liked it. So are these connected? Like, is this connected? Because I think, hasn't Alfred stayed the same actor? And the Robin who's in this movie is in the next movie, except Batman is George Clooney. So, and I think Commissioner Gordon is the same actor every time, right? In all 4 movies, according to IMDb. Now, I don't know. But yeah, are they connected with different actors, or is it just the first 2 that are connected and the other 2 are just, I don't know, standalones? I don't know. Maybe you can tell me. But yeah, next up, and the last one in this episode, is Batman and Robin. This is well, I said earlier I haven't heard good things about these last 2 movies, that one especially. So yeah, let's. I've seen a clip of Mr. Freeze, by the way, Arnold. It looked kind of funny. I'm looking forward to seeing how that plays out. Yeah, that wasn't good. Yeah, that just there was some fun parts to it. There's some fun parts. Sometimes it's so bad it's funny, and it's good in some ways, but yeah, it's mostly just bad. The villains are Mr. Freeze, Poison Ivy, and Bane. Batgirl's in it as well. And yeah, I like the suits though. The costumes are done well, at least. That's one thing they got right. But yeah, there's a lot of strange things about this one. Yeah, I'm not a big fan. I think this might be the worst Batman movie I've seen. Yeah, probably, probably easily. But yeah, it was worth checking out at least. At least I've seen it now. The dinosaur comment, like this scene right here.
What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age!
The Ice Age! You see, that line is so bad, but it's funny. It's so bad, it's good. You know what I mean? There's so many scenes in this that are just, it's so bad that it's good, but it's still pretty bad. There's a reference to Superman as well in there, which is pretty cool. And the finale, yes, the finale of my Batman movie marathon. We're sticking just to live action, and there's 4 movies left. The plan was episode 3, Dark Knight Trilogy, episode 4, Batman v Superman. But instead, doing all 4 in one video. So this will be the finale, and then there'll be another marathon coming probably next week. So I'm not going to say what it is yet, but there's another marathon coming next week. So anyway, yeah, the Dark Knight trilogy first, then Batman v Superman will be this episode, and that'll be the end of this mini marathon basically. I got them all on Blu-ray, got all 4 of them on Blu-ray, but not watching it on Blu-ray. There's a reason for that. My living room's a mess at the moment because I'm about to rearrange it. Not now, but I'm going to rearrange it completely. So because of that, it's a bit of a mess, and I just can't just sit on my sofa now at the moment. So I thought, you know what? I haven't just got the Blu-ray version. I got digital as well for all of them too. So I just thought, you know what? Watch on my laptop because, well, I got the digital. I bought it, so I have it. It came with the damn Blu-rays. So yeah, still good quality, just not as good as a Blu-ray, but still watching the damn movies. For BVS, the last one, I'll be watching the 3-hour version, the Ultimate Edition, which is much better than the original version. So just so you know. But yeah, this movie's get longer as you go along. The first one's 2 hours 20, then 2.5, then 2:44, then 3 hours. So kind of mad, but I do like all of them. I do love the Dark Knight trilogy. Is what got me into superheroes and got me into Batman. I became a fan of Batman because of this trilogy. This story arc for Batman in this trilogy is my favorite story arc of anything. I love it. It's just so damn good to watch, and I just can't wait to just dive right into this. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this. Like, it's gonna be nostalgia. I watched them all for the first time in 2012 as well, so that was a mad year. Avengers came out as well. Like, that was the year for me where I became like a superhero fan through the movies. The Dark Knight trilogy and Avengers just did so much for me. So yeah, once again, looking forward to diving into that. And BVS as well. Like, a lot of people hate it. I don't hate it. Even at the start on day 1, I gave a 7 out of 10 rating. Like, I've never hated the movie. I thought it was fine. I thought there were a lot of great things about it. So I can't wait to get to that as well. So this will be a good episode. This will be a good video, I think. So I'm going to watch the first 2 right now on the same night, and then get to the rest later on in the week, and you'll get them all in the same video. So let's do this. So I love Batman Begins. It's one of my favorite origin stories. It's a great introduction to Batman in this franchise. In this trilogy. It's a great storyline in general, but yeah, this is just a great start, and I just really love it. I love the cast as well, the villains, the way they introduce Batman when he finally gets revealed as well. When you get his full reveal, it's just so awesome, and there's some cool fight scenes, and yeah, I just love it. And the score, like, it's the whole trilogy really. The whole trilogy has such an epic score. The music is unreal. It has one of the best soundtracks of any movie ever. Like, the best soundtracks usually involve Hans Zimmer, and he composed this as well. He is so damn good. He is majestic with his music. I don't know how he does it, but he is a damn genius, and he did a great damn job on this. Christopher Nolan, Hans Zimmer, brilliant combination. It's just perfect. It just worked, you know. Inception as well, another example of fantastic soundtrack. But yeah, I love this movie. I think it's underrated as well, even though a lot of people say it's good anyway. I think like it's not far off The Dark Knight in my opinion. Like, I genuinely think it's that good. For me, the main reason The Dark Knight is better is the Joker. The Joker makes The Dark Knight that level above what Batman Begins is for me. For me, that's the separation. For me, the Joker makes that difference. Aside from that, Batman Begins is not far off in my opinion. I think Batman Begins is great, and it's just one of the best. Like, if I was to rank superhero movies, it'd be my top 3 probably. Top 3 with The Dark Knight. Like, I love it that much. The Dark Knight's number 1 though for me. Number 1 easily. But yeah, this is just a great origin story, and I love it. Also, another thing, I listened to a podcast on Sincast, and they were talking about like possible crossovers that will probably never happen, but like ideas that you can put into superhero movies. And one of them mentioned a Batman horror movie, and I was thinking that could really work, because there's a scene in Batman Begins, right, where it's the shipment scene. So the first like proper action scene when he's Batman, when he first gets revealed, when his full suit's revealed. And he picks people off one by one on the docks, and that is, it's pretty scary. It's brutal. He just picks people off just so suddenly, comes out of the shadows, and they don't know where he is, like where he's coming from, and next thing you know, he's behind them, and he just takes them all out. Like, that would be terrifying for the people that are being taken out. And I just thought, a horror movie like that would be awesome. Like, you could make a really good Batman horror movie. Let's say there's a group of criminals who are just, they've done a heist or whatever, and eventually they're stranded, or I don't know, just a random storyline where, a scenario where Batman can come in and pick them all off. If you can film a movie like that from the perspective of the criminals, and you see them getting picked off one by one, that would be a damn good horror movie for Batman. It really would. It would be like Predator or Alien. Like they said that in the podcast I was watching as well, I was listening to. They mentioned that, like an Alien style Batman movie where he picks them off one by one, and it would really work because he's scary. He's scary to criminals. I just think that'd be an awesome idea, but they'll never do it because, you know, he's Warner Brothers' golden boy. They're not going to take too many risks with him. They're going to do what they want to do with him. They're not going to like make him not family friendly, are they? He's not family friendly really, but you know, they still want to make him available for general audiences. They're not going to like make an R-rated horror movie out of Batman. They're not going to do it. But I wish they did. I really wish they did. But he's such a big character that they won't. But still, you know, it would be an awesome concept. They made Brightburn. Brightburn's an evil Superman story. It's not actually Superman, but it's if he was evil. So they did that. If they can, like, if the Brightburn universe wants to make a Batman style one as well, then I would be on board. I'd be on board. Anyway, yeah, The Dark Knight is up next. Let's do this. Oh yeah, I love the tease to the Joker in Batman Begins at the end. It's very subtle but so effective. So The Dark Knight is nothing short of a damn masterpiece. It's just epic. It's a damn masterpiece. It's so damn good, and I just love it. The Joker is the main reason for it as well, but in general, the ending was just amazing. And yeah, for me, it's the best superhero movie. It's my favorite movie ever. Not the best movie, I don't think. Best superhero movie for me, but in terms of like all movies, it's probably top 5 at least for me. Like, for me, it's that good. It sets the bar so high. Like, I would like to see a Batman movie be as good as that, but I'm not sure. But hopefully the Batman coming up in 2021 is as good as this or better. I'm just hoping for it. I think it's possible. I think it is. But yeah, I forgot to mention about the villains of the first 2 movies. They have a good track record in this trilogy of good villains. Ra's al Ghul, Scarecrow, Harvey Dent, Joker. They did them really well. And Bane as well. I liked Bane, which we'll get to in the next movie. But yeah, also, speaking of villains, Mr. Reese. If you've seen The Dark Knight, you might know Mr. Reese. Apparently, there's a theory that he's the Riddler. He's not actually the Riddler in this movie, but there's a theory that he is the Riddler. Mr. Reese. Mysteries. Get it? Mysteries, Mr. Reese. Maybe I'm reaching here. I got it from Google as well. I got it from like Reddit or something. Some Reddit post. But it does kind of make sense at times that he is the Riddler. That would be cool if that was actually the case. Apparently there was a rumor that DiCaprio was supposed to be in the trilogy as the Riddler. So, you know, Nolan loves hiring DiCaprio, Cillian Murphy, and Tom Hardy, Christian Bale as well. Well, those 4 men, Christopher Nolan, if he wants to direct something, he hires at least one of those guys. They're great actors, to be fair. They have a good track record, so why wouldn't you? And when they have Hans Zimmer on board as well, it's just like it's a perfect combination. I love it. But yeah, there's so many good parts in The Dark Knight. We'd be here all day if I mentioned all of them, but the highlights, how I got these scars, those 2 speeches from the Joker, they're so chilling. 2 different stories. It's just so chilling. I do wonder sometimes, like, was either one true? I have no idea, but Joker's performance in this movie was crazy. Rest in peace, Heath Ledger. I don't know if he got to did he ever get to see any part of the movie aside from him acting in it? I have no idea, but yeah, it's tragic what happened to him. So rest in peace for sure. The interrogation scene was exquisite. That was just amazing. Every time I see that scene, it gives me chills. And every time like the Dark Knight theme song plays, it gives me chills. When Batman takes down the SWAT team in the building in the finale, that was really cool as well. That was a really cool Batman sequence. I do enjoy the fight scenes and action scenes, chase scenes in these movies, although I kind of wish they were better. What I mean by that is the fist fights, the choreography. It's good, it's just that I wish it was more like the BVS Batman fighting. You know what I mean? Like more skilled combat, because Batman is an expert in combat. He's mastered like every form of martial arts. So he should have more skill than he has in The Dark Knight. But, you know, I can let that slide because it's still great. But still, you know, I kind of want to see a Batman who can show more fighting skill and also can do more detective work, because he's the world's greatest detective, and they don't really do him that much as a detective enough in Batman movies. So that's another thing I would like to see in 2021. The Dark Knight Rises is easily the weakest movie of the trilogy, and that's not to hate on it, but I think it's true. I think it's easily the weakest. I think it doesn't hit the levels of the first two movies, but I still think it's good. I still think it's really good. I think it delivers what it's meant to deliver the most, and that is a great ending. And for me, it's a great, compelling, fantastic ending, in my opinion. I just love the ending montage to it, the climax to the battle. I love that. I love the last half an hour or so of the movie. That was the best part of the movie, really, by far. There's a lot of issues before that, though, but still, I did love it still. I love all three movies, really. And it didn't just deliver an ending. It also had some good fight scenes. Especially, like I did mention, actually, this is not at the ending, but the fight between Bruce and Bane, the first fight in the sewers, that was a really good fight. Like, that was interesting, had some good dialogue in it as well, and there was no music playing either, so you can tell the stakes were high, and this was like a Batman who's weaker, who's not been there for like 8 years, and Bane took advantage of that, obviously, broke his back. But yeah, that was a really like intense, dark fight. And the second fight they had with all the police force against all of Bane's army, that was epic as well. And you get to see Batman in the daytime as well, which is what you don't normally see nowadays. I like Tom Hardy as Bane. I liked Catwoman. I did like the Talia twist. I didn't like the fact that Bane was just working for her. I preferred Bane in charge, but I did like the twist that she was Talia. I like it more now because now I know who Talia is. I know more about her. I didn't know that much before, like at that time, because I didn't read comics. But now I know Talia more. I like that twist even more now. But yeah, Bane, I liked Bane. He was cool, and I liked the fight scenes. Oh yeah, that chase scene near the start, where Batman returns when they're chasing Bane. That was an awesome chase scene. I did love that, and then he leaves in the Batwing as well, which is a cool looking thing. So yeah, there's a lot of good things about this movie. A lot of good things. It's just that there's a lot of plot points that they just aren't as good. But still, you know, like I still loved the movie. And the ending was great. It was emotional, it was compelling, it was fantastic. And also, it leaves you with a question, like, is Bruce actually alive or not? And it does question that. There's a lot of people who I've heard who said he's definitely dead. Others have said he's alive. For me, he's alive. For me, he's alive. For me, when Alfred went to that holiday place and he saw Bruce and Selina, for me, that was real. In my opinion, that was real. And also, what confirms that for me is there was a scene at the end in the montage where they said that the autopilot was fixed 6 months ago by Bruce Wayne. Alright, they said the autopilot was broken during the movie. Then at the end they said it was fixed by Bruce. That's enough proof for me, damn it. That's enough proof for me to think he's definitely alive. He's Batman, so he jumped out somewhere. But still, you know, I still loved it, and I think it's just a great ending. And I'm glad they never went back to it. I'm glad there's no sequels to it. I'm glad they just left it as that trilogy. For me, that's great. Beginning, middle, end. Perfect. Done. Leave it alone. Want to make more Batman? Then start a new franchise. But yeah, I loved it. I loved the ending. It's just that it's not as good as the other two, but I still love it. Oh yeah, and the Robin twist as well. That was a good twist too. That Blake was actually Robin at the end. That was a cool little twist there. And then he found the Batcave as well. So I assume based on that he becomes the new Batman or whatever. I have no idea. I have no idea, but I'm glad it's a closed book. I'm glad it's just done like that. They were actually gonna, I think they were planning on a sequel actually with him in the lead role, but it never happened. I think so anyway. But still, yeah, that's it. And there's one more left: Batman v Superman. Now this is a crossover movie, a team-up movie sort of, but it has his origin in it. His name's on there first. He's introduced into that movie for the first time in that universe. For me, that counts as a Batman movie, in my opinion. It introduces him. Like, I know it introduces Wonder Woman as well. It's also a Superman movie. It's a sequel to Man of Steel as well, and it's also setting up a new universe, setting up Justice League as well. But still, I still classify it as a Batman movie still, because of how much Batman is in there. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna watch a 3-hour version though, the 3-hour version, which is much better, by the way. If you haven't seen that version, then I recommend you watch it. It's a lot. It's an improvement on the original, that's for sure. Actually, before that, I forgot to mention, Batman's rogue gallery is ridiculously good. Like, all the villains he has, all the allies he has. Like, is there another hero out there who has as good a rogue gallery as him? Like, genuinely. Like, maybe Spider-Man, because he has the Sinister Six and there's a lot of cool Spider-Man villains, but still, like, the amount of iconic villains you can name from Batman alone is kind of mad. So I stand by my statement when I say BVS really wasn't that bad. A lot of people hated it, fans, critics, a lot of people hated it. There were those who loved it too, and those in the middle, sort of. I'm above the middle, shall we say. I liked it, I thought it was good actually. Gave it a 7 out of 10 on day one, and I thought it was good. But I'm not denying that there's definitely things wrong in it. There are things that are wrong with the movie, for sure. There's little things, nitpicky things, such as, like, why was Bruce floating with bats around him in the start of the movie? Or why was Bruce talking to a guy in his building to evacuate the building in Metropolis? The city was getting destroyed, so why did they need Bruce to tell them that? Why weren't they already evacuating? Like, what's the issue there? Then there's bigger problems like Lex Luthor. Like, for me, it wasn't a good casting. It just wasn't for me. Batman killing. Now, I'm open to Batman killing, but it takes away a lot from his character in some ways. I understand why he's killing. He's lost his way. He's lost faith, etc. Fine, I get it, but, you know, that's... Batman to lose his way and killing people for it is a movie in itself, I'm just saying. And like, I'll get onto that main issue afterwards as well. Then there's the Martha moment. You see, I understand the deeper meaning of that, realizing who he was. There's a deeper meaning to the Martha moment, but it could have been done so much better. Like, it made it feel like they stopped fighting and became friends when they're trying to kill each other just because Superman said his mum's name, who's also his mum's name. It sounded stupid to a lot of people, so it's not surprising really. But yeah, they could have done that ending so much better, because I felt the fight scenes were good. Like, genuinely, the fight scenes in this movie were really good. Like, Batman vs Superman, that fight scene was good up until the Martha moment. It was quick, but it was good. The warehouse scene was amazing. Like, that is the best Batman fight scene I have seen in a movie. Like, it was ridiculous. The only time I've seen better fighting than that from Batman is in the Arkham games. Like, it was actually very Arkham-like, the way he was fighting in a warehouse. And yes, he was killing people, but still, that was a damn good fight scene. Then the final fight scene for the CGI, I liked that as well. I enjoyed that fight scene, to be honest. Wonder Woman's entrance in that battle was crazy. Like, her theme song was just... It's one of the best theme songs ever. Like, it's an awesome theme song, and the way she arrived was just awesome in that final battle. But here comes the main issue. The main issue is they put too much in the movie. There's so many different plot lines in the movie. They could have made like a trilogy or even more out of this movie alone. Now, I'm not trying to say you can't put all of that in one movie. You can. It's just that they could have saved some bits, you know? They put so much in the same movie. But the 3-hour version definitely explains more, definitely improves more, definitely papers over some of the cracks, that's for sure. there's still issues with it, the 3-hour version, but it's a lot better than the cinema version. And they should have released the 3-hour version in cinemas on day one. It probably would have done better. Maybe not, but it just explains so much more. So yeah, that's the thing. But I still don't think it's bad. I acknowledge that it has problems, but I can still like it because I really don't think it's a terrible movie. Some positive things about the movie: the Martha, his parents dying. His parents dying. We do not need to see it because we've seen it so many times in so many different franchises of Batman, animated, live action, games, whatever. We've seen his parents die so often. At this point, everyone knows his parents died, so we don't have to see it. Having said that, I do appreciate Zack Snyder's directing of this version. I thought it was interesting in slow motion. I just felt like with the music, it's very emotional, and so I didn't like it. I don't like seeing parents die, but you know, I liked the way it was filmed. Wonder Woman's entrance, as I mentioned already, and a theme song. The nightmare scene, underrated. Not when you talk about it, but that was a cool scene. That was like a look at what Injustice would look like potentially because of the evil Superman and Darkseid taking over a post-apocalyptic world. It was a nice. It was a dark but a very good nightmare scene. The fight scenes that I mentioned, the warehouse scene, obviously, the Batmobile. I love it in this movie. My favorite version, actually. The Dark Knight trilogy version, actually, like, not that good to me. Like, it's a good military vehicle, but as a Batmobile, it doesn't look that cool compared to like the Keaton ones or just the Schumacher movie ones. Just in general, like, the Dark Knight trilogy is a great trilogy, but the Batmobile in that movie is one of the worst ones in a way. And it's just not terrible, but it's just like, but still, the BVS one for me is the best one. I just think it looks really cool. And Batman for me is the best part of this movie, for sure. Wonder Woman as well was great too, to be fair, but mainly Batman. He was the best part of this movie. And I know he was killing, but still, I still loved him, and I felt Ben Affleck played him really well. And then they just ruined him in Justice League. I don't know what they were thinking, but they ruined him, turned him into comedic acts, and I don't know what they were thinking. I don't know what they were thinking of Justice League. They messed that movie up so badly, like, it's ridiculous. Yeah, like, the real monstrosity is Justice League, not BVS. Justice League is what is as bad as what people think BVS is, in my opinion, if that even makes sense. And the training montage as well, the Batman training montage, that was pretty badass. He had a good soundtrack as well, some good theme songs in there. Just soundtrack in general, really, the emotional stuff, the fast-paced stuff. It was good in general. And all three of them had, Wonder Woman, Superman, Batman, all had good theme songs. All have it in this universe, obviously, or had it, as Affleck's gone now, but still. And yeah, that's gonna be it. That's just at least most of the positive things I can say about it. But yeah, I really don't think it's that bad. I think it's underrated in a way, because it's so low rated by critics, especially. It's madness. And when I saw that more critics liked Justice League than BVS, I was just like, you know what, I just don't believe you anymore. That's just ridiculous. How can, yeah, opinions are opinions, I guess. Opinions are opinions. But that is the end of the Batman movie marathon. Only 3 episodes, but you know, only so many movies. There are plenty of animated ones, like I've seen a few. There's plenty of animated Batman movies, but this was mainly about live action. So if I do animated movies, it'll be part of my movie list, the series I do. So just so you know. Also, there was another movie. I can't say things correctly at the moment. I don't know what's going on. There's another movie marathon coming next week. Not gonna say what it is, but it's coming. It's a short one as well, just like this one. It's a short one, but it is coming. Just so you know. This is your boy Davidoff. Please like, share, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Have a good day, and see ya.